Okay, so यहाँ पे in this question we have a rod hanging from the ceiling, and you're given the mass of the rod, you're given the length of the rod, you're given cross-sectional area, given Young's modulus, and अभी start किया है, don't worry, ठीक है? This एक question दिया था homework के लिए, I'm just discussing that. तो ये सब दिया rod के बारे में, mass, Young's modulus, area, length, and the first thing I ask you is find tension in terms of y. Now you will find कि tension increases as you go further and further up. A very simple reason that at any point tension is the force responsible for bearing the weight of the rod below it. Yeah, so a simple example is if we see three people hanging from a bar, you might have seen this in movies, right? They form a chain like this, and if I simply ask you who is for whom is it the most difficult to hold on? For whom is it the most difficult to hold on? The answer is definitely the person at the top, because the amount of force he'll have to apply on the bar, the amount of tension he'll have to apply to hold on will be the greatest, because his tension has to bear the weight of all three of them, as opposed to this guy's tension having to bear the weight of only himself. So, and the middle guy's tension has to bear the weight of these two. So basically it's tension which is bearing the weight of everything below it. The tension at any cross section bears the weight of everything below it. So we'll prove that as well. But the point is, by that common logic, you'll expect tension to change. Whenever tension changes, you can't simply apply y is stress upon strain for the entire rod, but we'll have to take element by element. First objective always is try to analyze and figure out tension, which is a laws of motion question. It's not really a question pertaining to this chapter. This is a laws of motion question. How do I find tension? The golden rule is if you want tension at any cross section, अब यहाँ से नीचे से y distance ऊपर tension चाहिए, take a system with that cross section as a boundary. That's the golden rule. You want tension at any cross section, take a system having that cross section as a boundary. If you take the entire system, वो tension कभी दिखेगा नहीं equation में. It becomes an internal force and that disappears. है ना? Laws of motion में सिर्फ external force दिखता है. तो take that cross section as a boundary. या तो ऐसा system ले सकते हो या ऐसा वाला, जो भी तुम्हें ज़्यादा पसंद है. Now I like the lower one because है ना, there's no other force. I mean ये ऊपर वाले में वो extra एक unknown force आ जाता है, तो I prefer the lower one. तो lower वाले को system में लेके उसका FBD मैंने यहाँ पे बनाया. बहुत ही सिंपल सा FBD है. यहाँ से ऊपर वाला पार्ट उसको अपने तरफ खींच रहा है. टेंशन इज एन अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स, पुलिंग फोर्स. तो ऊपर वाला पार्ट नीचे वाले पार्ट को अपनी तरफ T फोर्स से खींच रहा है, और वो नीचे वाले पार्ट का मास कितना हो गया? अब टोटल रॉड का मास m है, तो y सेगमेंट का मास कैसे निकालोगे? टोटल मास बाय टोटल लेंथ, दैट्स m by l, इनटू ये सेगमेंट का लेंथ विच इज y. Total mass by total length into ये segment का length, that gives you इस segment का mass. That into g gives इस segment का weight. All right, so tension is simply going to balance this weight. We know this is not going anywhere, so upward force and downward force has to balance, and therefore tension quite simply mg y by l आएगा. I hope nobody had any problem finding tension. This is a laws of motion concept. Once you get this kind of tension, then what I was trying to explain in the previous classes, I was trying to explain that because tension is changing, I can't use this formula for the entire rod. Y is T by A delta L by L. I can't use that formula because the question is tension का क्या value डालें? Constant नहीं है, नीचे से ऊपर है ना, change होते जा रहा है. So what do we do then? So then the idea is you need to then take a very small element. So take a small element of size dy, okay? Take a small element of, let's say, length dy, and let's say the extension in that element is d delta L. वो element तो डी डेल्टा एल से एक्सटेंड हो रहा है, ठीक है। अब उसके लिए यंग्स मॉडुलस का इक्वेशन डालो। तो यंग्स मॉडुलस इज उस एलिमेंट पे टेंशन, so that element is located y distance above the base, so we have found tension to be mgy by l upon वहां पे cross sectional area, it is a throughout. Okay, so this is stress, this is our numerator. Young's modulus is stress by strain. Strain के लिए क्या लिखना है, उस एलिमेंट का एक्सटेंशन d delta l अपॉन उस एलिमेंट का लेंथ dy, d delta l by dy. Alright, so यहाँ से you get a very simple differential equation. Now, from a maths point of view, this becomes very simple. There's just two variables, delta L and Y. Separate the variables and integrate. तो यहाँ पे क्या किया मैं, dy को ऊपर लेके गया. Okay, so we get mgy dy. The constants really can be anywhere. D delta L को यहाँ पे left hand side पे लेके आ गया, AL को भी लेके आया, तो y AL constant किधर भी रख सकते हो, तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता इंटीग्रेशन में. तो फिलहाल लेफ्ट साइड पे रख दिया y al को. सो y al d delta l is mgy dy. लिमिट्स कहाँ से कहाँ लिया मैंने, 0 से l. So we know that y needs to go from 0 to l because I want to cover every element from the bottom to the top. And as y goes from 0 to l, extension starts from 0 because 0 matlab you're not taking any element. So at the beginning, your extension that you have added up is 0. Till you reach the end of the rod, by now you have added up the extension for every element. Once you add up the extension for every element, what you should finally get is the entire extension for the complete rod. Okay, so d delta L correspondingly goes from 0 to delta L. 0 when you're not taking any element, and delta L when you have taken all elements. Okay? Was rational समझा रहा हूँ, काफी makes sense. D delta L goes from 0 to delta L. When you integrate this, YAL वैसा ही रहेगा. D delta L का integration is of course delta L. When you put in the limits, you get delta L minus 0. MG Y का integration is of course Y square by 2. When you put in the limits, you get L square by 2 minus 0. And from there, when you rearrange the terms, you get delta L as L काट दो, एक है L यहाँ से वहाँ से काट दो, and you get delta L as mgl by 2ay. You get delta L as mgl by 2ay. So how many of you were actually able to do this at home? How many of you got this as your extension at home? Very nice. Good. That's good. Good. Very nice. Okay. Those who didn't get, I hope you at least understood this, because I'm going to give a similar question and I'll ask you to solve. Now, let me just say that most of your questions on stress and strain need not be like this. Har question aisa nahi hone wala. In fact, if you see your HCV, in fact, most of the questions there is he's just made it quite straightforward. Laws of motion ki tarah is asking you to find tension. Some questions look like this. He's asking you to find tension, and then वहाँ से just tension निकाल के he wants you to find tension निकाल के he wants you to find Young's modulus. So it's a very straightforward formula. There's no integration. Some other questions are very similar to laws of motion. So if you know how to find tension, you can be asked to find extension by the Young's modulus formula. So these are the kinds of questions in your HCV. We'll of course discuss them when we meet on Wednesday. But I'm trying to show you a few examples where integration could be involved. Okay? So these are slightly better examples where you can see integration being involved. If tension is not constant, you go element by element. And that's a basic concept across all chapters of physics. If you have a formula which depends on certain terms, but if you see those terms change across the length of an object and you don't know what term to take, always break it down to smaller elements. Write that equation for that element and then integrate. That's one of the basic fundamental ideas of integration. Okay. All right. Is anyone still copying this page? No. So then I'll probably give you one question to try now. All right. Again, interesting one. इसमें भी laws of motion का खेल है. Okay. So the question is basically, I am pulling a rod. Okay. So I am pulling, very simple. There's a rod or a chain, whatever you want to call it. There's a rod of length L, mass M, that is just lying on a frictionless floor. Cross-sectional area of the rod is A, and I pull the rod with a force, with force F, but only one end of the rod is pulled with this force. Okay, so you need to figure out what is the rod going to do, and thereby, what I want you to do is find the tension from this end of the rod. So find tension in terms of X, where X is the distance from the end where the force is applied. Find tension. Do that quickly. This is a laws of motion question again. आसानी से आना चाहिए. Tension निकालने के बाद, this is relevant to our chapter. Then find the extension. Okay, so you can see that the time is 7:44. I'll give you time till 7:47, and then we'll see where you've reached, and then maybe extend a bit. Come on, as a test, try to look quickly. Shivank, no problem. Fact that you got it, it's good. But then try to analyze, what were you thinking for maybe the first 10 minutes? Were you thinking along some wrong line? Analyze why it took that amount of time. See, there's no harm if you take 15 minutes to get a question. But then after getting the question, just think, were you thinking really along the right direction for the first 10 minutes? Is there something to be changed or some wrong notion to watch out for next time? You can analyze, you can learn from everything you do. Tension. यहाँ पे I have left this statement as a hint for you guys. Krishi, that's correct. That's correct. Sanika, very nice. Good, yeah. Okay, for the rest, I've just left this as a hint. If you have कुछ याद ही नहीं आ रहा है टेंशन कैसे निकालना होता है, to find tension at any cross section, please take a system which has that cross section as a boundary. Okay, that's your golden rule. Take any system which has that cross section as a boundary. Yes, Tanisha, say here. One more minute and I'll reveal the answer for tension. So then maybe you guys can then focus on the integration part. Tanmay sahi hai. Yash sahi hai. Is y given? Yes, yes, y is given. Yes, please, y is given. Take y into account. Okay. 747. So I'll just reveal the answer for this. Tension, you should get F L minus X by L. फंडा क्या है? ठीक है, पहले एनालाइज करो रॉड कर क्या रहा है. So as you can see, there are unbalanced forces. There is a force towards the right. So Newton's second law of course tells us कि mass m है, right की तरफ एक force है F, यानी कि उसका acceleration होगा F by m towards the right. So my rod is going to accelerate towards the right with this acceleration F by m. फिर now my golden rule, tension at any cross section, please take a system which has that cross section as a boundary. तो ये boundary रख के या तो इसको system ले लो, या तो राइट साइड को ले लो या लेफ्ट साइड को ले लो, कुछ भी ले सकते हो. ठीक है, आई एम गोइंग टू टेक द राइट साइड. ऐसे ही इसमें एक लेफ्ट साइड, सॉरी आई एम गोइंग टू टेक द लेफ्ट साइड. राइट साइड में दो फोर्स दिख रहा है, टेंशन एंड एफ. इट्स हार्डली अ बिग डिफरेंस. स्टिल आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग द लेफ्ट साइड, यू कुड टेक द राइट साइड एज वेल. तो अगर मैं लेफ्ट साइड ले रहा हूँ तो इस चीज का मास, अब इसका पहले तो लेंथ हो जाएगा L माइनस एक्स. लेंथ के बाद मास निकल जाएगा. तो मास कैसे निकालते हैं? टोटल मास बाय टोटल लेंथ इनटू इसका लेंथ. तो m by l, टोटल मास बाय टोटल लेंथ, m by l मास पर यूनिट लेंथ इनटू इसका लेंथ, l माइनस x विल गिव इसका मास. तो ये सेगमेंट का मास है m डैश. ओके, व्हिच इज ml l माइनस x. ये सेगमेंट पे एक ही फोर्स लग रहा है, पूरा सराउंडिंग से देखो, मतलब हॉरिजॉन्टली एक ही फोर्स लग रहा है, एंड दैट इज द टेंशन एट दैट क्रॉस सेक्शन. The force with which each part pulls the other part. You know? So tension is the only force acting on that guy. So I get a very simple equation. Tension is mass into acceleration. Tension right ki taraf force is mass into right ki taraf acceleration. So T is m dash a. Substitute a, substitute m dash. A is F by m, m dash is this. Sure enough, m cancels out, and we get tension as F L minus x by L. Okay, and this is actually a straight line equation. तुम इसमें देख सकते हो कि अगर x को जीरो डालोगे, x को इधर जीरो डालना ना, तो F मिल जाता है. मतलब ये एंड पे टेंशन F है, and that makes sense. It's being, है ना, one side of this cross section, मतलब the out, इस cross section का एक side क्या हो गया? The outer world, the whatever's on the right of the rod, that is pulling this with the force F. So tension at the right end is whatever force you see over here. Tension at the right end is F. Okay. And yes, Gaurav, yes, yes. And tension at the left end, X ko L dal do. When you put X as L, this cancels out. Tension at the right left end is zero. Because do you see any force at the left end? No, you don't see any force there. So tension over here is zero. Tension over here is F. So tension actually, and in the middle it changes linearly. Zero से F linearly ऐसा tension change होता है for a uniform rod, provided or you don't do anything more, है ना, कुछ funny in the middle और कुछ नहीं करोगे, extra forces नहीं डालोगे, तो tension ऐसा linearly change होगा, which is something you probably see in laws of motion. Okay, अब यहाँ से extension निकाला था. Yes, your answer is correct. Those are solved. Let me know what you're getting. Meanwhile, others, let me know if you still want me to remain on this page. Okay, I'll wait. जल्दी से लिख लो. And कुछ doubt है तो पूछ लो. Yes, तन्मय सही है. Okay. जिसने वेट बोला था हो गया तो बोल दो. हो गया? होप हो गया था। अच्छा, यहाँ पे वापस फंडा क्या है, टेंशन चेंज हो रहा है, टेंशन चेंज हो रहा है, सेम स्टोरी। तुम एक छोटा एलिमेंट ले लो of size dx, let's say its distance from this end is x, let's say its extension is d delta l, so take that small element, ठीक है? अब उस एलिमेंट के लिए लिखो यंग्स मॉडुलस इज स्ट्रेस बाय स्ट्रेन, या यंग्स मॉडुलस इनटू स्ट्रेन इज स्ट्रेस। तो इनटू स्ट्रेन, व्हाट इज स्ट्रेन? इसका एक्सटेंशन अपॉन इसका लेंथ, तो d delta l upon dx, this is strain for that small green element. What is the stress for that element? Stress for that element will be वहां का टेंशन अपॉन वहां का एरिया। वहां का टेंशन क्या है? We just figure that out. So x distance from the right end, tension is f l minus x by l, तो वो वैल्यू बस सब्स्टिट्यूट करना है। Now we have a differential equation. Okay, again what are the variables? X is a variable, delta l is a variable, बाकी सब constants है, ठीक है? So just separate the variables, मतलब d delta l एक तरफ ऊपर, dx दूसरी तरफ ऊपर, dx के साथ l minus x डाल दो, है ना? And the other constants can really be anywhere. So I have just kept everything on the left hand side. Doesn't make a difference. Y, A, L and F किधर भी हो सकता है. Integrate कर लो, same logic. Dx को 0 से L to cover the entire rod, and then as you go from one end to and you cover the entire rod, you'll end up getting the total extension in the entire rod. So d delta will go from 0 to delta. Okay. इंटीग्रेट कर लो, वाई एल बाई एफ, डी डेल्टा एल का इंटीग्रेशन हो जाएगा डेल्टा एल माइनस 0। राइट हैंड साइड में इंटीग्रेट कर लो, एल का इंटीग्रेशन हो जाएगा एल एक्स, राइट? एंड एल एक्स में लिमिट्स डालोगे तो आ जाएगा एल इंटू एल माइनस एल इंटू 0, तो एल स्क्वायर आ जाएगा, एल का इंटीग्रेशन हो जाएगा एल स्क्वायर। वेराज माइनस एक्स का इंटीग्रेशन होएगा माइनस एक्स स्क्वायर 2, लिमिट्स डाल दोगे तो हो जाएगा माइनस एल स्क्वायर बाई 2। Okay, so in fact you get finally a very similar answer to what we saw before. L square by 2 हो जाएगा राइट हैंड साइड में, एल एल काटोगे तो इट बिकम्स L by 2 into F by YAL by YA, तो FL by 2 AY is delta L, ठीक है? Nothing to memorize over here. You may start to see patterns, but it's actually when you learn integration and you learn calculus in maths, you'll start to understand अच्छा why this result appears like this, and you'll start to understand कि हर बार ऐसा है ना by 2 का factor appear होना जरूरी नहीं है. It depends on the scenario. So in fact I would just say, more than seeing patterns and memorizing patterns, always just learn the basics. Basics is, if I can't apply y is stress by strain for the entire rod because something or the other may be changing along the rod, I will apply it for an element of the rod. When you apply it, you get a nice simple differential equation which you can easily integrate to get your answer. Okay. Any doubts? So with this, I'm now going to move to the other two types of stress. We'll finish that today, and in the next class we'll just have a look at a little bit of theory, and that's just going to be a theoretical part. Stress strain curve wala thoda theory dikhenge, and maybe some extra questions, and if this time we can discuss some homework questions, homework doubts as well. Okay, but today we'll try to finish off the other two stress strains. So with that, you'll actually be able to attempt almost your entire HCV. Any doubt in this page? Anyone still copying this page? No? Okay. All right. Now the next kind of stress, tangential stress or shear stress. Okay. Um, very small one. In fact, your advanced syllabus doesn't really give this importance. Yes, Aditya, just remind me after class. I'll do that. Okay. So this is a very small concept. Your advanced syllabus doesn't mention this, in fact. So one of the reasons it doesn't mention it is because इस पे ज़्यादा variation आ नहीं सकता है. Yeah, so they can't really create questions on this with they can't create variations on this without making it too complex. So for that reason, if you see your syllabus, they'll just stop at Young's modulus. And for gases, they'll mention Bulk's modulus, but then they'll not really deal with this stress. It's however there in your mains exam, so we'll have a look at it. But it's काफी छोटा सा simple सा सीधा formula based concept है. Let's see what this is now. Tangential stress or shear stress. Now we have already seen normal stress, and we are going to expect a very similar formula. It's force by area. But यहाँ पे क्या है? Tangential stress or shear stress is at any cross section. This is defined as the restoring force per unit area tangential to the cross section. Okay. So in simpler words, if you remember your normal stress was this force. So the perpendicular force, hence the word normal matlab perpendicular. So the force perpendicular to the area divided by cross sectional area, wo tha normal stress. And that kind of force would either in a way stretch the object or compress the object. But yahan pe, okay, yahan pe, this is a little different. This is trying to deform the object. It's going to try and make this cube in a little while look like a parallelogram. No, that's what it's going to try and do. So in this case, you will have forces. Sorry. In this case, you will have forces instead of having forces perpendicular to this cross section, you will have forces tangential to the cross section. And you'll have equal and opposite forces because you don't want your cube to go anywhere. वहीं पे रखना है, बस shape deform करना है, ठीक है? So you'll have these equal and opposite forces, and simply put, tangential stress is going to be this tangential force upon this area. Okay, tangential force by area. So it's simply going to be F upon area. This area. Okay, so the area जिसके लिए ये फोर्स टेंजेंशियल है, the area जिसके लिए फोर्स टेंजेंशियल है. So this is a cube. तो ये जो ऊपर का जो एरिया रहेगा ना, वो एरिया ऊपर वाले सरफेस और नीचे वाले सरफेस का एरिया, हॉरिजॉन्टल एरिया, ठीक है, उसका एरिया. या फ्रिक्शन will be a tangential force. So imagine कि I am applying a force on this block at the top, and the block is not going anywhere because static friction is holding it in place. Okay, and this block is thereby in a way it's slightly getting deformed to a parallelogram type of shape. So उस scenario में we will talk about tangential stress. So it's going to be this kind of tangential force upon O area, the area on which that force acts, the area for which that force is tangential. Okay, so that's tangential stress. Symbol has sigma या gamma, one of the two, and T stands for tangential. Okay, so पहले N, it was sigma N for normal stress. यहाँ पे you have sigma T for tangential stress. And this stress, okay, this stress will produce a deformation. Now have a look at how we are going to describe the deformation. So we are giving it the name tangential strain or shear strain or simply shear. Okay, tangential strain, shear strain, or simply shear. And Shivang, to answer your question, one of you said, will this always be in a static case? Always in a static case. Okay, they're not going to make it move. They're not going to make it move. And I said, this is not mentioned in your main syllabus because they don't want to create too many variations on this. You will study tangential stress and strain in more detail in your engineering days, and there will be a different mathematical model to approach understanding stress. So for that reason, advanced is not really mentioned this in your syllabus. They have in a way excluded it. Mains has included it, and from a mains perspective, it's just going to be, I mean, it's difficult to create anything new in this. It's just going to be a very simple, straightforward concept. Sigma, the previous stress, on the other hand, was quite interesting, you know, because that has to do with finding tension, and we can create interesting questions on making you find tension. वहाँ पे थोड़ा interesting integration वाला सवाल बन सकता है, यहाँ पे ज़्यादा बन नहीं सकता. So it's going to be very simple. It will always be a static case. I mean, in all scenarios, you'll have these equal and opposite forces. Okay. All right. So tangential strain या shear strain या shear strain के लिए we use the symbol epsilon, and I'm going to use the subscript T for tangential. And this is now, अब ये ध्यान दो, if you remember what normal strain was, try to recollect normal strain का definition. तो normal strain के लिए हम ऐसा force डालते थे, and फिर अपना ये जो cross section होता था, है ना, ये cross section, ऊपर वाला क्रॉस सेक्शन नीचे वाले के रिलेटिव डेल्टा एल नॉर्मल डायरेक्शन में मूव करता था. नॉर्मल मतलब परपेंडिकुलर, क्रॉस सेक्शन के परपेंडिकुलर डायरेक्शन. तो अगर क्रॉस सेक्शन हॉरिजॉन्टल है तो ये वाला क्रॉस सेक्शन ऊपर मूव करेगा इसके रिलेटिव. एंड हमने नॉर्मल स्ट्रेन डिफाइन कैसे किया था? डेल्टा एल अपॉन एल. अब यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, टैंजेंशियल स्ट्रेन में ये जो ऊपर वाला क्रॉस सेक्शन है वो ऊपर मूव करने की जगह बिकॉज ऑफ दीज फोर्सेस नीचे वाले के रिलेटिव में साइडवेज मूव करेगा. इट्स गोना, इनफैक्ट एज आई सेड, दैट क्यूब इज गोना स्टार्ट टू लुक लाइक अ पैरेललोग्राम. साइडवेज मूव कर रहा है. ओके, साइडवेज मूव कर रहा है. मान लो x अमाउंट से साइडवेज मूव कर रहा है. इफ यू कैन सी दैट कॉर्नर हैज शिफ्टेड अहेड बाय एन अमाउंट x, तो x अमाउंट से साइडवेज मूव कर रहा है. टेंजेंशियल स्ट्रेन इज डिफाइंड एज दैट साइडवेज relative displacement upon the distance between the layers. Normal strain was perpendicular displacement, normal displacement perpendicular to the area. That displacement by distance between the layers. ये है tangential displacement, मतलब along the surface जो कितना displace हो रहा है upon distance between the layers. So let's read the definition I've written for you guys. Let's see how that's framed. So the definition says tangential strain is the ratio of relative displacement between two parallel planes. Relative displacement between two parallel planes and the perpendicular distance between them. Okay? So of course in the scenario of tangential stress, ये जब relatively ऐसा displace होगा, left की तरफ displace हो गया, x के along displace हो गया, ठीक है, by an amount x, and उनके बीच में distance था h, तो उनका ratio x by h, that is tangential strain. Simple. ऊपर वाला layer कितने से move किया and उन layers के बीच में कितना distance था. So x by h becomes tangential strain. And from this diagram, it's quite clear कि if my cube becomes a cuboid becomes a parallelogram, and that parallelogram का अब ये side makes an angle theta with the vertical, so you can clearly see कि tan theta from that diagram is x by h. So x by h becomes tan theta. So if you're given the angle, you can, if you want, you can use that as well. Either way, tan theta is going to be a small angle. Okay, so these are going to be very small changes. It doesn't get deformed visibly as a 30-degree वगैरह. They're going to be very small angles. So you can take tan theta as theta. You can take tan theta as sin theta. So you can say epsilon t is x by h. You can also say it's tan theta or theta and so on. Okay. And one of you is asking why have I written shear twice? So simply shear also represents this. So if they say find shear, don't think and ponder अरे shear मतलब shear stress निकालना है या shear strain निकालना है. Simply shear भी अगर बोल दिया तो समझ लो कि they mean shear strain. Okay? Just giving you alternate names for the same thing. Find the shear in the block, मतलब find shear strain in the block. Okay, so I'll give you a question where you'll get a little bit more clarity on the difference between tangential stress, normal stress, tangential strain, and normal strain. You'll see that question in a bit. But are you done with this page? Any doubts and any other doubts in this page? Okay. Done. All right. So if you remember, a little while ago, in the last class, I think I defined something called as the modulus of elasticity. All right. So was it page 48, 49? Okay. Modulus of elasticity, where what I said, what is the model of elasticity? It's the general term for the ratio of stress to strain. The general term for the ratio of stress to the corresponding strain. Now, when we talked about normal stress upon normal strain, that modulus of elasticity was called as Young's modulus. Okay, so each stress strain ka ratio has a different name. Normal stress by normal strain ka naam tha Young's modulus, okay, which is the most important of the three. वैसा ही shear stress upon shear strain का जो ratio है उसका नाम है shear modulus. Shear stress by shear strain, sigma t by epsilon t, is called as shear modulus. It has a few more names. It's popularly known as the modulus of rigidity. Okay, just remember those names: shear modulus, modulus of rigidity, or torsional modulus. Okay, yeah, torsional, that word is associated with the concept of an object being twisted out of shape. So in effect, this is in a way what this object is experiencing. It's somewhat being twisted out of shape. So it gets these names: shear modulus, modulus of rigidity, torsional modulus. This symbol is eta. Okay, whichever way you want to write it, that's the Greek alphabet eta. You have torsional strain in organic chemistry. Yeah, I'm trying to think if that really means the same thing. I think name similar hoga, torsional strain. I think there it's in a way described in a rotation context. So I wouldn't say it literally means the same thing we mean over here. So there it twisting about the double bond. So there it's described in a rotational context. Don't mix the same thing over here. यहाँ पे torsional strain जैसा word नहीं होगा. You'll have shear strain, tangential strain. And more common names for this modulus will be shear modulus or modulus of rigidity. I've just seen a textbook use this name, so you can remember that name as well. Okay. Now, eta is the symbol for this. So eta is shear stress by shear strain. Eta is simply sigma t by epsilon t. Okay, so shear stress by shear strain. Shear stress is what? This force by this area. So F by A, shear stress. And shear strain is what? Shear strain is ये layer जिस पे वो force लग रहा है, वो layer का displacement upon उनके बीच में perpendicular distance. The shear strain is x by h. Layer का displacement upon the perpendicular distance. So that is your that ratio becomes your shear modulus. X by H can be written as we saw, it can be written as tan theta. Okay, तो ये हो गया shear modulus का definition. अब एक सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन करेंगे जहाँ पे थोड़ा और क्लैरिटी आएगा. What is the difference between shear stress, normal stress? What is the difference between shear strain, normal strain? Okay. As such, if at all any question on shear modulus were to come in your mains exam, it will just be based on this formula. You can imagine what kind of question will be created. It will just be based on this formula. They'll try to give, out of these 5 terms, they'll try to give 4 terms. They'll ask you the 5th term. It can't get complicated beyond this. In fact, वहाँ पे थोड़ा interesting था. वहाँ पे that force was tension, so we could create something on that. But यहाँ पे can't get more complicated than this. So this is one of the reasons why your advanced has not even mentioned this, because they know they can't create any complicated question on this. So you can always keep reading your syllabus, so you'll have a nice idea of what's actually in your exam. Always refer to your advanced syllabus and your main syllabus. You're going to give both exams, and both will be important for you. So keep both this is in mind. This is by whatever. ठीक है? लिख लिया ये पेज. No doubts. Okay. So just for clarity's sake, let's just do one question. Let's do this. So I want you to, I'm giving you a cube. I'm giving you a cube of base area A and height L. I am telling you 2 things. Okay. So first of all, the bottom layer of the cube is fixed. It's stuck to the floor. It's fixed. I am applying this kind of force on the upper layer. अब ऐसे फोर्स के कारण ये पूरा का पूरा जो अपर लेयर है, the purple one is the force. That force makes an angle alpha, by the way, with the horizontal. Okay? इस फोर्स के कारण ये पूरा का पूरा अपर लेयर undergoes a displacement S. The entire upper layer gets displaced by S, making an angle of beta with the horizontal. Okay, so S is the displacement of the top layer due to this force. So I'm giving you F, I'm giving you S, I'm giving you alpha, beta. With this information, can you try to find these 6 quantities? So find normal stress, tangential stress, normal strain, tangential strain, Young's modulus, and quotient of viscosity. Yes, Krishi, that's correct. Right, so I'll give you 2 minutes. 8:20, I'll discuss this. Yes, Sanika, सही है. कृषि सही है. You can solve this. That means you've properly understood क्या हो क्या रहा है. What is shear strain? What is normal strain? What is shear stress? What is normal stress? Yes, Shivank. Um, yes, I'm not sure why you've subtracted L. S is the displacement of the top layer. Displacement of the top layer from its normal position when it was unstrained and when it was not experiencing any stress. Yeah. Yes, Krishi. We'll give 1 more minute. Come on, guys. See that definition based. If you're getting it, you're lazy to type, at least say done. Okay, so let me know that. All right, cool. Yeah, good. So what does this look like? So sigma n is normal stress, yani ki normal wala force. Normal, the word normal means perpendicular. So it means the force perpendicular to this cross section, all right, upon the area of that cross section. So it's going to be F sine alpha by A. Kheenchne wala force by A. Whereas the tangential stress is going to be this force, the force tangential to the plane by A. So that is naturally going to be F cos alpha by A. तो ये है shear करने वाला, twist, deform करने वाला force by A. Alright, so sigma n is normal force by A, F sin alpha by A, and shear stresses, shear stresses, yeah, tangential force by A. So I hope with that you're clear about the difference between these two stresses. Okay, and how they could take place simultaneously also. Like in this case, this force is trying to stretch the object as well as deform the object. Okay, now S is the response of the object to this force. So the object in a way gets stretched by S sine beta and it gets deformed. This entire upper layer shifts towards the right by S cos beta. This cube is becoming like a parallelogram, okay, because the upper layer is shifting towards the right by S cos beta. All right, so that will appear in our strains. So a normal strain deals with how the object has been deformed in the normal direction. So normal strain is relative normal displacement perpendicular to the area, and a normal displacement कितना खींचा गया, कितना extend हुआ upon original length. So it's delta L by L, S sin beta by L. That is your normal strain. And shear strain has to do with ये कितना horizontally displace हुआ. So this is going to become like a parallelogram. ये कितना horizontally displaced हुआ, we know S cos beta is the amount it's getting displaced horizontally. तो कितना horizontally displaced हुआ upon L, कितना tangential direction में displaced हुआ upon L. So this is going to be S cos beta by L. And once you understand normal stress, normal strain, tangential stress, tangential strain, you can find the respective moduli of elasticity. So Young's modulus is normal stress by normal strain. So उनका ये दो 1 and 3 का ratio is the answer for question number 5. 1 and 3 का ratio is 5. And similarly, eta is in दोनों का ratio. So 2 and 4 का ratio is the answer for modulus of rigidity or shear modulus. Okay. Any doubts there? Anyone still copying this? Let me know. Okay, so be very clear what these terms mean. You may not get a question on shear modulus, but just still make sure you know what it means. All right. The third stress that we're going to see, this is slightly more important. In fact, this stress we're going to see is whatever formula we're going to write over here, that's going to be valid for solids, liquids, and gases. Okay. And in fact, your syllabus, again, main syllabus mein to hai hi properties of matter mein. Some reason, again, your advanced syllabus doesn't mention this in properties of matter, but it does mention Bulk's modulus for a gas. So either way, aisa maan lo ki whatever I'm going to say now is there both in mains and advanced. Okay? We'll understand this term. Slightly more important than the previous, definitely more important than the previous one. Volumetric stress, एक बार समझते हैं ये क्या है. Okay? So volumetric stress, first of all, the symbol is again the same as that for stress, sigma ya gamma, with a subscript V. Let's look at the definition. It is the force per unit area applied uniformly to compress the body. Okay, so what definition here? But what can make more sense to you is, it is therefore, what will probably help you more is, it is therefore the same as the external pressure on the object, because you know, when you apply a force uniformly on any surface to compress the object and you find force by area, that is actually nothing but the pressure that that object is experiencing. So volumetric stress is actually pressure, the external pressure that that object is experiencing. Okay, now to explain the next line, let me just explain the objective of this concept. So अब देखो अपना फंडा ये है, try to understand this. Let's say I have a rubber ball जिसका radius is 3 centimeters. Okay. Now, whenever I measure this radius of 3 centimeters, do I measure this radius in vacuum, or like normal people, I measure this in a place where atmospheric pressure is 1 atm? Like normal people, I'll be measuring that radius in a place where atmospheric pressure is 1 atm. So if I say a ball has a radius of 3 centimeters, it's quite obvious it is 3 centimeters when the surrounding pressure is 1 atm. Now, if I take the same rubber ball and I, drop it and it reaches the bottom, I'm not sure if rubber balls float, but let's just say, it reaches the bottom of a lake, and वहाँ पे pressure is greater than 1 atm. Let's say वहां का pressure is 1.2 atm. Okay, now obviously we are expecting this rubber ball size to be, they don't float, they sink. Okay, fine. All right, so naturally we are expecting this rubber ball size to be smaller. So we are expecting a radius lesser than 3 centimeters. Now we, in this entire chapter, we are trying to concern ourselves, we are trying to figure out कि इसका अब radius कितना होगा. That is the objective of this section. इसको जब एक higher pressure में डालोगे तो उसका radius कितना हो जाएगा, finally कितना होगा. Now ये जो भी amount से radius कम हो रहा है, does it depend on 1.2 atm or does it depend on 0.2 atm? जितने अमाउंट से रेडियस कम हो रहा है, does it depend on 1.2 atm or does it depend on 0.2 atm? Fair enough, it depends on delta p, it depends on 0.2 atm. 1 atm पे ऑलरेडी कुछ रेडियस था, 1 atm से और अब कितना प्रेशर बढ़ाऊंगा उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग ये बॉल का रेडियस 3 सेंटीमीटर से कम होगा. So I want to relate the decrease in radius to the increase in pressure. So when we are going to describe volumetric stress, understand that we are actually concerned with pressure above 1 atm. Okay, because for us 1 atm is normal. We don't want to say a ball is in a state of stress because air उस पे force लगा रहा है. We want to ignore that. वो तो air anyways हर चीज पे लगा रहा है, उस हर चीज पे लगा के अब इस बॉल पे भी लगा के बॉल का रेडियस है 3 सेंटीमीटर्स. इसके कंपैरिजन में हमें बात करना है कि अगर मैं और प्रेशर बढ़ाऊंगा तो बॉल का साइज कितने से छोटा होगा, और प्रेशर कम होगा तो बॉल का साइज कितने से बढ़ेगा. So 1 atm, yes, will be in a way taken like a reference point, and I'm concerned with pressures above 1 atm. Okay, let me elaborate this one more way. एक और तरीके से elaborate करता हूँ. Like for instance, when we talked about normal stress, okay, let's say we are compressing this rod by a force F. So when we talked about normal stress, we said normal stress was minus F, minus compression के कारण, ठीक है? Don't stumble over there. This compression के कारण, we said normal stress is minus F by A. अब यहाँ पे we didn't take into account कि air भी तो force लगा रहा है, air भी लगाएगा ना, लगाएगा. P atm तो लगा ही रहा है. P atm into area एक एक्स्ट्रा एक कंप्रेसिव फोर्स रहेगा. P atm into area by area करोगे तो इधर P atm का टर्म जोड़ना पड़ेगा. एयर भी फोर्स लगा रहा है. So even while talking about stress, we were not talking about entire force acting on the rod to compress it by area. The rationale was the rod anyways occupies some length when placed in 1 atmospheric pressure. It anyways occupies some length. उसके ऊपर जब मैं एक्स्ट्रा फोर्स F लगा रहा हूं, रॉड और कंप्रेस होगा. कितने से कंप्रेस होगा उस फोर्स लगाने के कारण, वो स्टडी करना था. So the way we ignored P atm while defining normal stress, same way we are going to in a way ignore P atm while talking about volumetric stress, or while at least using it in a formula, because we want pressure above the 1 atmospheric pressure, because whatever size the object will naturally have will be at 1 atm pressure. When I increase pressure beyond that, I want to see कितने से increase करने में object का size कितने से कम हो रहा है. Okay, so long story, but finally this is what I'll just conclude with. While trying to measure how this pressure would deform the body, we will take the pressure above and beyond the original atmospheric pressure the body was present in. We are concerned with pressure above and beyond the original atmospheric pressure the body was present in. Okay, therefore on that note, this formula doesn't help you much. The formula which will actually help you is look at volumetric stress as pressure. Simple words, it's pressure. And to be more specific, look at it as excess pressure. बॉडी का नेचुरल साइज कुछ तो था एट इनिशियल प्रेशर मे बी 1 atm, बट उससे तुम और कितना प्रेशर लगा रहे हो, टेक दैट टू बी वॉल्यूमेट्रिक स्ट्रेस. Okay, the pressure above the normal pressure the body anyways was in. So as you guys all answered, 1.2 atm में जब एक rubber ball को डालोगे, volumetric stress for us is 0.2 atm. because उतने से तुमने pressure बढ़ाया beyond the pressure it was already in. Okay, थोड़ा जब questions करेंगे और clear हो जाएगा क्यों हम ये pressure लेंगे. Okay, so that was volumetric stress. Life simple, it's basically pressure above atmospheric pressure. Okay, these are fancy symbols, but you can ultimately just use pressure for this. Now that's volumetric stress. Volumetric strain, जैसा बाकी strains defined, जैसा normal strain define किया था delta L by L, वैसा ही volumetric strain को define करेंगे. So volumetric strain is epsilon V, and it's represented, it is basically delta V by V. Change in volume upon volume. Change in volume is always final minus initial. So strain is final volume minus initial volume upon initial volume. या fractional change in volume. वहाँ पे length था, यहाँ पे volume था. इसमें observe one thing कि यहाँ पे pressure by default compressive होता है. So we have taken stress to be positive when it's actually compressing the object. है ना? अगर मैं pressure 1 atm से ज़्यादा लूँगा, when I take pressure to be 1.5 atm, sigma V is going to be positive. Stress is going to be positive. Okay, because I've defined it in that sense. I've taken stress as pressure. I've taken it as a compressive force by area. So when I make pressure 1.5 atm, stress is going to be positive. But strain is going to be negative. Because as I increase the surrounding pressure, size is going to decrease. Right? It's going to be pushed inwards. So strain is negative whenever stress is positive for volumetric stress and strain. And vice versa. When volumetric strain is negative, मतलब मैंने pressure 1 atm से कम किया, ठीक है? या magically, I don't know, magically बार की तरफ कैसे uniformly खींचोगे, but at least हाँ, pressure तुमने 1 atm से कम किया, vacuum वगैरह में डाल दिया, 1 atm से कम किया, तब stress will be negative and strain will be positive. So if I take a ball and I place it in 0.5 atm, the air which was pushing it inward has now reduced. The pressure of air pushing it inward is reduced. So the ball size may increase beyond 3 centimeters. So when stress is negative, strain is positive. When stress is positive, strain is negative. So you have that kind of inverse, in a way, relation over here. You just observe that because that is going to be important when we define the modulus of elasticity for, yes, हाँ, अच्छा वापस बता देता हूँ. Yes, compressive volumetric stress is positive. Okay, compressive volumetric stress is positive. Volumetric stress ऐसा ही define किया है, final pressure minus initial pressure. तो वही मैं समझा रहा हूँ, जैसे अगर तुमने बॉल को 1.5 atm तक लेके गए, तो sigma V will be positive 0.5 atm. Okay, what does it mean? मैंने extra compressive pressure, extra compressive stress डाला 0.5 atm का. Okay, and यहाँ पे you will use, yes, so यहाँ पे in that way convention अलग है. If you remember normal stress के वक्त खींचने के वक्त positive लेते थे ना, यहाँ पे compress करते वक्त positive लेंगे. Okay, so it's just a different convention over here. Okay, and one of you is saying, let me just see this down. Yeah, यहाँ पे this stress does not depend on the shape. Here you will not talk about the shape. You'll apply this for any shape in general. Okay. Now, of course, since we're dealing with volume, it will more or less have to be a standard shape so that you can work with volume. But otherwise, you can apply this result for any shape. You'll also deal in cases where, yeah, direction of volumetric So stress as such is not a vector, so it does not have a direction defined with it. It's just this magnitude F by A. The volumetric stress is simply the external excess pressure. Okay, and you will also never have stress varying along the object. ऐसा नहीं कि है ना एक लेक में ऐसा बड़ा सा ऑब्जेक्ट डाल दिया और बोला निकाल दो स्ट्रेस, कि ऑब्जेक्ट के लेंथ के अलोंग ही चेंज हो रहा है, नहीं, they're not going to do that with you. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll give you objects of small size, so that at least along the length of the object your stress is not changing. All right, now as we saw in the previous two stresses, stress by strain ka ratio is some modulus. Normal stress by normal strain is Young's modulus. Shear stress by shear strain is shear modulus. वैसा ही a volumetric stress by volumetric strain is defined as Bulk's modulus. Okay, the Bulk's modulus is a new term. This is volumetric stress by volumetric strain is represented by the symbol B, but there's a slight catch. यहाँ पे क्या है, whoever came up with this, they didn't like giving a material a negative quantity. Okay, I mean, they didn't want the Bulk's modulus of that material, of any material, to be negative. If we just take sigma V by epsilon V, we know that that ratio is going to be negative, because when one is positive, the other is negative. When one is negative, the other is positive. है ना? So therefore Bulk's modulus का definition उन्होंने ऐसा कर दिया, minus sigma V by epsilon V. That minus sign is only there to make Bulk's modulus positive. Check for yourself. These two are of opposite signs. If I add a minus sign there, the Bulk's modulus of that material becomes positive. उसको positive रखने के लिए minus sign डाला है. ठीक है, तो ये हो जाता है definition of Bulk's modulus. Conceptually it's stress by strain, volumetric वाला, but just to make it positive, there's that minus sign. Okay, now what is sigma V? What is volumetric stress? Delta P. It's the excess pressure above and beyond the initial pressure, which will typically be 1 atm. Okay, so it's the extra pressure. And the corresponding strain is delta V by V, change in volume by initial volume. Okay, and bear in mind, although यहाँ पे minus sign दिखता है, always remember this is going to be positive. So out of these two terms, one term is going to be negative. या तो delta P negative होगा और delta V positive होगा, या delta V positive होगा, delta P negative होगा. In pressure and volume have an inverse relationship amongst themselves. बाहर का pressure बढ़ाया, object shrink होगा, बाहर का pressure कम किया, object थोड़ा expand होगा. But also understand कि from a practical point of view, these changes are very, very small from a practical point of view, because Bulk's modulus is a very large number. Typically 10⁹ pascals के order का रहता है for solids. So it's a very large number. So you do not see large changes in volume. Okay, so for all practical reasons, your Bulk's modulus का formula के लिए you can use this delta P by delta V upon V. Okay, because in general your changes are going to be small. But theoretically, sometimes है ना, your question, whoever's making your question, they keep the practical reality aside and they try to test whether you know maths and whether you have an understanding of कभी ऐसा ideal world situation में they also ask questions. So sometimes they'll ask a question कि है ना, object को मुझे object का size मुझे 50% से कम करना है. I want to reduce the size of that object by 50%. आधा करना है size, है ना? तो उस scenario में you should think कि this formula has a problem. This formula cannot be applied for large changes. Let me explain why. If you think about delta V, see how delta V's formula looks. So delta V seems to be minus whatever delta P V upon B. मतलब ऑब्जेक्ट का साइज जितने से कम होता है, it depends on three things. कितने से कम होता है depends on three things. It depends on surrounding pressure, obviously, change in pressure. It depends on the material of the body. Obviously, some objects can get compressed more easily. It also depends on the current volume. Logically सोचो, it's easier to make a very big sphere का size reduced by 3 centimeters. It's very difficult to make a 4 centimeter वाला sphere का size reduced by 3 centimeters. Right? So naturally, the decrease in volume depends on the current volume. Now, when I try to produce large changes, I face a problem. As I keep decreasing the size of this object, you tell me, why should any further decrease in volume depend on what its volume was some time ago? है ना? अब इस इंस्टेंट में जितने से भी वॉल्यूम कम होगा, वो तो करंट वॉल्यूम पे डिपेंड होना चाहिए. इस इंस्टेंट पे जिस रेट से वॉल्यूम कम हो रहा है, वो उस इंस्टेंट का वॉल्यूम पे डिपेंड करना चाहिए. Why should the rate at which volume decreases depend on the original volume? है ना? Why should delta V depend on what its original volume was? अगर स्फीयर का रेडियस 4 सेंटीमीटर से 2 सेंटीमीटर कम हुआ, तो for that entire 2 centimeter, why should decrease in volume only depend on 4 centimeters? It should depend at every instant on the current volume. So you can quite easily see why the real formula should technically be this. The real formula should actually be this. If you want to use for large changes, कभी क्वेश्चन ने बोला 50% से साइज कम करो, बताओ कितना प्रेशर लगाना पड़ेगा. So for large changes, this is the formula you'll have to use. Minus, ये actually be a little clear है ना, V is outside. Delta P को मैंने dP लिखा है, तो maybe I'll put brackets on dP. Minus dP into V upon dV. That is the formula for Bulk's modulus. Minus dP into V upon dP. डेल्टा पी डेल्टा वी के जगह डीपी डीवी लिख के इंटीग्रेट करना पड़ेगा. कब? अगर सवाल पूछ रहा है 50% डिक्रीज कर लो. वरना इफ एनी अदर क्वेश्चन, इफ दे गिव यू न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यूज, you will simply use this, because trust me, when they give you numerical values, Bulk's modulus will be so big that changes in volume will be very small. So you don't really have to integrate when you are given values. Okay, when you're given a numerical question, प्रैक्टिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इंटीग्रेट करना नहीं है. बस अगर पूछ रहे हैं 50% साइज कम कर लिया, 60% साइज कम कर लिया, तो तब ना you'll have to use this term. Okay, please. Yeah, similar to what you're saying. Yes. And एक चीज मुझे बताओ, do you expect, looking at this formula, do you expect Bulk's modulus to be greater for a solid, or do you expect it to be greater for a gas? Will Bulk's modulus be greater for a solid, or will it be greater for a gas? Yeah. So please understand, for the same pressure, gas के लिए change in volume बड़ा होगा. For the same pressure, gas के लिए change in volume, है ना? Same external pressure के लिए या excess pressure के लिए गैस बहुत easily compress होगा. तो गैस के लिए डेल्टा वी ज्यादा होगा, गैस का Bulk's modulus कम होगा. तो in a way, कम Bulk's modulus मतलब easily compressible. Smaller Bulk's modulus means more compressible. Greater Bulk's modulus means more rigid, less compressible. So solid का Bulk's modulus ज्यादा होता है, and solid is less compressible. Gas का Bulk's modulus कम होता है, gas is more compressible. So that's why another quantity is sometimes defined called as compressibility, represented by the symbol K, and compressibility is the reciprocal of Bulk's modulus. Simple, it's just the reciprocal of Bulk's modulus. So you can use either of the two formulas for the reciprocal. Definition है, compressibility is 1 by B. तो गैस का Bulk's modulus कम होगा, compressibility ज़्यादा होगा, which makes sense. Gas is more compressible than any other state of matter, है ना? So Bulls modulus and compressibility are inversely proportional. Compressibility is the reciprocal of Bulls modulus. Okay? हो गया लिख के? Questions करें अभी इस पे? So you'll use this for large changes in volume. You'll also use this for, typically you'll use this for gases. So that'll be one of your homework questions. You'll see कि कभी अगर Bulls modulus for gas कुछ पूछा है, and they give you adiabatic equation, PV raised to gamma is constant or something like that, then you will want to differentiate and get a relation. Okay, so that'll be your homework question where I'll ask you to find Bulls modulus for any polytropic process. I'll show you that question. So for gases, you will use this second equation. या अगर large change है, तो कभी integrate करते वक्त you may have to use this. All right. Now, चलो ये question कर लो. Let's start with one question. A sphere of radius r. We'll continue with the rubber ball idea. A sphere of radius r is dropped into a lake of depth h. Sphere of radius r is dropped into a lake of depth h. Find its radius when it reaches the bottom. Find its radius when it reaches the bottom. So you have initial radius, you have Bulls modulus of the sphere, you have the density of water. Okay. Come on, guys. And thoda effort, if you apply in this chapter, will be very rewarding because this chapter is definitely scoring. It's not like rotational mechanics where you have a lot of interlinked concepts. In this chapter, you have a lot of independent concepts. So therefore, that makes this chapter scoring. You don't get one concept, you get the other concept. और दूसरे concept का question फिर भी कर सकते हो. You don't have to put a lot of things together. In fact, we normally look at this as a formula-based chapter. So एक बार terms वगैरह definitions याद रखोगे मन में, you won't even have to revise this often. More or less हर बार question होते जाएगा. Yeah, Sanika, your answer is perfect. सही है. Good. So the others, let me know. Are you getting it? Tanmay, your answer is correct. Shivang, you need to see your answer is greater than R. Huh? You're expecting an answer lesser than R. Niranjani looks correct. I think you found the final volume. So Vasi, you'll have to find the final radius. Shivang, I think that looks correct. But let's see if your answer is actually similar to this, if it comes out to be in this form. है ना? So यहाँ पे जैसे in this any Bulls modulus question, at least try to figure out what terms you know. So like for instance, you know Bulls modulus involves delta P delta V. So do you know P final P initial, V final V initial? V initial is 4 by 3 pi r cube. P initial is P ATM. Think of that. बॉल का sphere का radius जब R बोल दिया था, where was the sphere? Definitely it was in air. So initial pressure therefore is P ATM. Okay, it wasn't, of course, R does not mean radius in vacuum. It definitely means radius in 1 ATM pressure. So P initial is 1 ATM. V final पता नहीं, लेक के नीचे डाल दिया, we don't know what the final volume is. We do know it has to be lesser than V initial. P final पता है कि अच्छा, at the bottom of the lake, pressure would be P ATM plus rho GH. Okay, Bulls modulus is minus delta P V upon delta V. Substitute these values. What is really change in pressure? So we know कि change in pressure is only rho GH. Above and beyond PATM. उतने से extra compress किया हमने अपने sphere को. So rho GH appears in this equation, not PATM. Initial volume you can take as VI because practically the size is not going to change much. So V को VI ले सकते हो. Delta V is V final minus VI. So V final minus VI. V final is unknown. VI is 4 by 3 pi r cube. ये equation को बस rearrange कर लो. तो I'll bring V final over here. I'll send Bulls modulus to the denominator. And फिर minus VI को मैं right hand side में भेजूंगा. तो I'll just rearrange these terms. So V final minus VI is minus rho GH VI by B. And फिर VI को left hand side से right hand side भेज दो, है ना? So you get V final is VI minus rho GH VI by B. ये equation, now just substitute volumes in terms of radii. So 4 by 3 pi r final cube. VI common ले सकते हो, 4 by 3 pi r initial cube. You can directly write r initial as r, by the way, is 1 into 1 minus rho GH by B. 4 by 3 pi काट दो, cube root ले लो. You get R final is R into 1 minus rho GH by B to the power 1 by 3. Okay, so we sometimes maybe somebody must have, sometimes you could probably make a mistake somewhere or the other. You know? So whenever you make a mistake, at least maybe it's difficult to track your silly mistake while solving, but at least while you read a question, you should develop an expectation for your answer. Do I expect radius to decrease or increase while reading the question alone? So utna to at least if you while reading the question you realize, acha, I'm expecting pressure to increase and radius to decrease. So I'm expecting an answer lesser than R. Agar tumhara kuch plus वगैरह आ गया, at least that can be rectified. Expecting an answer while reading the question. So that way, minute you may have done everything right. Sign के कारण हो सकता है radius would have increased instead of decreased. You can at least hope to track and rectify that. If you, while reading the question, expect कि answer ऐसा दिखना चाहिए. Okay. Okay. So all right, fine. I'll stop here. तुम homework के लिए एक तो 62 नोट डाउन कर लो, ठीक है. I've uploaded the pages so you can refer to that. 62 is where I am telling you to, I'm giving you pressure, I'm giving you Bulk's modulus, find final pressure to decrease volume by 2% and 50%. Okay, एक small change है, एक बड़ा change है. And 64, I've uploaded this page twice. I've uploaded once with all of this erased, and then I've uploaded once with the stuff revealed. So have a look at that. 64, I want you to definitely try and even remember the result. यहाँ पे I am asking you to find Bulk's modulus for a polytropic process, जिसका equation होता है PV raised to n is constant. ठीक है? This is in your syllabus, Bulk's modulus of a gas. So what would that mean? That would be Bulk's modulus for a polytropic process. So solve this on your own. Check with the answer that I've uploaded. We'll discuss these in the next class. We're almost done with the chapter. I'll again revise your HCV homework. You want, you can start attempting your booklet as well. And what else do I have to say? Yeah, एक थोड़ा theory बाकी है of the stress strain curve, which I'll do in the next class, and maybe a few more extra points. But yeah, as it is, you're based on this, you're good to go with your TWT. Okay? And let's finalize Wednesday 5 p.m. कर लेते हैं. I think some people have some college commitments before 5. I don't know how you'll manage on the other days, but chalo, अपना lecture at least we keep at 5 then, 5 to 6:30. Okay. Thank you and bye. Good night. हाँ, HCV solution link. So you're there on the group, right? Supports group. The new support KGP download group. I'll just send again on that. Okay, bye. Bye.